I've been an officer for 14 years here in Manteca. I've been an officer for 8 years. Prior to Manteca, I was an officer in Contra Costa County as a deputy and Broward County, Florida as a deputy. I was 10 years in the military. I became a cop because I was military prior, 10 years. However, my father was a police officer. He was also military, and following in his footsteps. My favorite part is working my dog. I've been a canine handler for almost 8 years, 7.5 years. And I love working my dog. I love working the street with my dog. I love in contact with people on the street, good or bad. Been drinking, who has daughter has leukemia and is given only a certain amount of time to live. The other daughter come down to help mom out and got in an argument with a homeless person who was staying in the backyard. That the daughter didn't feel that she should be. However, the mom says that she could stay there, and unfortunately the law states that if mom allows her to stay there, we can't kick her out. So in a nutshell, we can't do anything besides be a psychologist and keep the peace. Being a police officer is more of a team aspect of it. You can't be a lone wolf out here. Each person brings something different to the table. So, you know, you've been out on our calls with us, and one person does one job, the other person does another job, and if you work as a team, each person has the different skills, and it makes it gel a lot better.
23 years.
Wow.
I started in 1991. I worked my way up from a patrolman to chief of police. We have a very good group of guys here, and I give all the credit to them. I'm just the guy at the top that runs interference, but they're the actual boots on the ground, and they're the ones that make our city safe.
It's making sure that the traffic flows and the other officer who is investigating doesn't get hit by a car as a backup officer here. You saw earlier the car in the middle of the road. We try to line our cars up so we don't get hit and he doesn't get hit, and then we try to get it off as fast as we can with a wrecker. As we're directing traffic, what the other officer is going to do is he's going to get information from both drivers, the driver's license, the insurance information, the vehicle information, and the driver's personal information, phone number, and his driver's license number. They swap information, and then that way tomorrow they can call their own insurance companies up. Their insurance companies will do their own investigation. So this is what we call a non-injury report. So it's really not a report for us. We just swap information so they can give it to their insurance companies. If this was an injury accident, we would do a full report and send it to for ours so the insurance companies can get the full report. But this one's not an injury. Thank God nobody's hurt.
Crystal Van Dijkhuizen, Lead Animal Services Officer for Manteca Animal Shelter. Animal control is multiple things. We run the shelter, which gets cleaned and sanitized every day. We do field calls. We help people with issues with animals. We educate the public. We support spay and neuter of animals. We impound them. We adopt them. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to put them down. We go to court, we write citations, we enforce the laws. It all depends on the day on what we're doing. I've been here over a year, and I've been in animal control for almost 6 years. For the most part, the way I look at it is we're the spokespeople for animals. Most people don't look at my job like I do. I always hear the words of, I could never do your job, things like that. I look at it differently. I'm here to speak for the animals. A lot of these little guys that are in poor situations, we're able to make it better. We're able to prosecute people for doing wrong to animals. And then when it comes down to it, our animals are sheltered, but we are low kill. What that means is most of our animals stay with us until they get a home unless they're injured, aggressive, timid, dangerous. And then we put those down, but for the most part we're here and they just stay with us until they get really good homes. And then people think it's horrible for them being here, but they got food, they get everything cleaned daily, they get loving, we get volunteers that play with them. They get toys, they get all types of stuff. It's a really good place for them. For the most part, educating. It's a great place where people learn. We educate a lot of our volunteers, a lot of the public. We let them know laws, training issues. We send them really good trainers. I would just let them all know that animals have feelings and all too, and that, you know, everything should be treated fairly and not abused.
If you're interested in becoming a cop, I recommend you come out and be an explorer with us, or at least come do ride-alongs with us. See what we're all about. We're not the mean people that people think on the streets. We're human too. Most of us come in the job to change the world, to help people out, and then we evolve after a time where we do what we like to do within the job. Me, I like working my dog. Somebody might like riding the motorcycle or being undercover. So this is all the people that we have working tonight. Not normally working patrol, but working at the police department. So, as you see right here, this says 3 Adam 1. In other words, he is what we call swing shift, which is our 3rd patrol. Adam means patrol, and 1 means he's working first beat. So this guy's swing shift, patrol, working the 5th beat. Now me, I'm 3rd patrol. I'm a canine unit, and I'm working the 2nd beat. S means sergeant, so sergeant, he's number 7 in the sergeant. N means narcotics, so we have a narcotics officer. And then we have 3 gang units, or gang officers working tonight. Unfortunately, within the society right now with Michael Brown and the officer that choked the officer out in New York and the 12-year-old that got shot with a handgun, it's tarnished our name a little bit, and we're not like that. Just because you see it on video doesn't mean that's really how it happened. So I challenge everybody who wants to be a police officer and wants to see what police officers are all about. Come out and ride out with us. Stop us on the street and ask us questions. I have people all the time stop me and ask me questions about my dog. I have kids that wave to him every day, and he will stop, and I'll pull the dog out so they can see him and pet him.